We got some chickens as young pullets, and I built them a new chicken tractor, and they were lovely birds. You could feed them bread out of your hand on a Sunday afternoon. They were generally very tame, very easygoing birds.
Crackers with Nessie.
Does she like them?
Yeah.
She's worried about making sure that there's enough for the chickens and enough for the dog, Nessie,
Uh-huh.
and they're sharing nicely.
Now, now Nessie can eat the rest of them.
You had to be careful if you were little and you wandered too close to their pen. The chickens weren't always, uh, not always friendly. Ooh, look out! Hey, I told you, look out! Oh. But you could feed them corn out the back door and they would come happily to eat it. Finally, as the chickens got older, weren't laying so well, on a beautiful day, we decided we were going to butcher those old hens. So I chopped off the heads, and I didn't video that part. People don't seem to enjoy watching chickens' heads being cut off. And I took out the guts and threw the carcasses into this wheelbarrow. So don't look unless you look away. Hey, I said look away. Hey, look away, look away. Well, there they were.
I wasn't looking.
We got a fire going, kept the heat low. I wanted this to go long and slow. We threw the beautiful bodies into a big old kettle, along with some extra fat I dug out of the body cavities. I wanted that to add flavor to the broth. We kept the fire low. I didn't want this to boil hard, but boil slow. You see, the idea is that these are old hens, and old hens are not tender morsels. It looks like the new generation is really enjoying life. Hey, what are you doing behind the chair? What are you doing behind the chair? Hey, the idea is that if we cook these things long and slow, we can make tender meat out of meat that should have been tough. We added some onions, I believe a few garlics, a bit of salt, some bay leaves, and just kept the heat turned low. There you can start to see the fat coming to the surface of the kettle. There, yeah, it's just starting to boil a bit of the grease off the bones, off around the bones. The dog thinks it smells delicious. There, it's progressed a little more. The meat is starting to get a little tender, starting to fall away from the bone. And you can see that yellow color on top. That's a nice layer of chicken broth. All the goodness from the fat that's in these birds and the good vitamins, minerals that are in their bones starting to cook out. And just look at that. We kept it a slow boil like that. The beautiful layer of chicken grease on top there. That'll make a lovely broth. When it was tender enough, we used a fork and just scraped it off the bone like that. It came away pretty easily, and we ended with a beautiful tray of meat, perfect for soups. And we separated the bones out and saved them to put back in the kettle, cook longer, maybe I'm thinking 2-3 hours longer it was. Add a bit of vinegar, a bit more salt, and let them cook. Get more of the nutrients out of those bones. That's the idea. Meanwhile, the meat was in the pressure canner. I believe it was about 12 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes, but don't go on my word unless you want to hurt yourself. So the bones are boiling down more, and this is more from the early part of the process of boiling them down. By the end, they had turned pretty white. and we just heated them up good and hot and poured that hot broth into the jars and tightened the lids. They sealed totally fine, and that will keep all winter long for some delicious chicken broth. There you have it. There's the broth. There's the canned meat, that tender morsels from those old hens. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, ask any questions you have, share with your friends, and I'll see you next time.